do you view this siren over here?
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Say something. Don't use a siren.
Why is it counterproductive?
It proves nothing. They're saying nothing. They're saying absolutely nothing, but more hate with the siren.
This is the level of argument that we get when constructive dialogue fails from the opposition. They resort to silencing us through sirens. How ridiculous is that? How asinine of an argumentative platform is that? That's why it's completely stupid. This is what we have to deal with.
They got nothing better to say, so they resort to sirens.
So this is what...
Ignorance. This is what ignorance is. Sick.
Complete lack of any intelligence, but also a willingness for constructive dialogue. Isn't that why we're here initially, for constructive dialogue? This shows a complete lack of willingness to engage in that. Again, right to sirens. They run away from constructive dialogue over here, from moving forward and trying to have some sort of agreement made. They run away to a different area, and then when people go over there to engage them again, they turn on the siren again.
Hey, hold on. Let's have a constructive dialogue, you and me. You actually sound like you're conversing. So I've seen that sort of from both sides, and it's been very annoying. And I'm Don Rogers. What's your name?
I'm David.
David?
Yeah.
Good to meet you, man.
Nice
All right. I'm half the hand, twice the man.
Works out.
All right. Tell me, first off, what is your general position and view of Councilwoman Pauley's statement? First of all, what did you hear her say?
Well, I watched the entire video. I think that
by entire video, which do you mean?
Well, the video from the Yorba Linda incident.
Because there are several. This was a big controversy. CARE produced a video that was doctored that showed the Congress, the speakers, and then juxtaposed them next to hecklers that appeared several hours later at nighttime. Is that the video you're referring to?
Actually, it must be the video that I referred to, because there was an amalgamation of images. But I mean, regardless of whether or not it was doctored, the initial words that were given by Councilwoman Pauley, it's not like those were changed. They were said. And they can't be taken back. Right. Regardless of any propaganda techniques used to incite interest or anything in this issue, the issue remains the same. This woman abused her right to the First Amendment in the fact that when you're thrust into the vortex of public opinion as an elected official, to use that type of rhetoric against a subsection of people it's completely asinine and wrong. And I think that it was put best in one of the speeches this evening. If you had said any of what you said as a non-elected official, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when you're an elected official, those types of comments have to be censored on a personal level. And I think that that's the major thing that needs to be remembered here.
Good. So it makes sense. So if Pauley said something and meant something that was offensive or rightly considered to be hate speech, if she actually intended that to be meant, then she erred. Then she erred big time as an elected official.
As an elected official.
Okay.
As an American and an individual, I take no truck with what she said, because she does have the First Amendment right to free speech. However, she's an elected official, and to use that status from a dais and actually represent herself as that, and then follow that with what she said, that's what I have a truck with.
Good, that makes complete sense. Now I want to talk to you about what in fact, if we can come to some clarity about what she actually said and meant. Because it comes down to us through videos. What evidence have you received about what she said?
Well, through watching the video, I think that the comment
and
that
this, again, this is the video produced by
the doctor,
okay.
yeah, and at the time I didn't know that it was, but I think the comment that offends me most on a personal level was the fact that she came out and said, you know, my sons and his buddies would be more than happy to send these individuals to an early paradise. That's a thinly veiled threat, and I don't think that that constitutional right as a platform allows for threats. And also to say that this is pure unadulterated evil, that's just hurling completely unnecessary epitaphs at a subgroup of people that didn't really do anything wrong in this situation.
Okay, the big question then, and what this whole controversy hinges on, it seems to me, is to whom she was talking. Who was she referring to when she said those people in the statement? So who did you take her referring to when she said that my Marine sons could help send those people to early paradise? Who was she referring to when she said the referent? She said, pointing to a referent. Who was the referent?
Well, if she was speaking of a certain individual, that's I don't know that, and I don't recognize that to be the case.
Okay.
Personally, I believe that she was saying that to a group of individuals, to a group of people, to a religious minority in Orange County, and I think that anybody with a certain degree of common sense would be able to take the truth from the lies and see that regardless of whether or not she may have been saying that about a certain individual, she was representing it to an entire group of people.
So if she meant a group of people, and as a generalized group, then we both, you're saying, and I would tend to agree with you, that it's ridiculous.
Yes, absolutely.
If she meant specific, there was one view that said that she was referring to those two speakers, Siraj Wahhaj and Malik Ali. That's one view that says you're referring to those two. If on that theory, how do you interpret her statement?
Even along the lines of that theory, she's an elected official, and I think that points of personal opinion should be censored on a personal level. Again, second of all, her entire frame of her entire basis for why she was saying that, if she was saying it to these two individuals, is completely erroneous in that they were never convicted of any terrorist activities.
Okay.
So at that point, the entire framework for her argument crumbles.
So you view that her argument was that, for classifying those two individuals, those two speakers, as being such, was predicated only, or at least primarily, on being, what'd you say, convicted or indicted?
Well, were they indicted?
Yeah, I
don't believe they were ever indicted either.
I think
there were accusations.
I think that there's one view that interprets her to be having a bad view on them, only because Siraj Wahhaj was an unindicted co-conspirator.
Yeah,
and that he testified.
Unindicted co-conspirator. Co-conspirator? What necessarily does that mean?
It means
it's one of those really ambiguous terms that the American justice system uses, and it's across the board. It happens to people. It happens to white people too.
So, that statement about Siraj Wahhaj didn't give you cause for concern?
No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I think, and what gives me cause for concern is the fact that there are people who honestly believe that an accusation is enough to predicate some sort of dislike or hatred towards another person, and that's a very slippery slope to put yourself on.
So that's an interesting statement. So whether someone should assume things about a person because of accusations, but Malik Ali, he was very outspoken about his views. We can point to 1,000 instances of him as saying rather vitriol speech, hateful speech about Israel and about other things about America too. But he's been very a proponent of jihad on American campuses and America. On that instance, I mean, so you have to, of course, you might not have seen those clips, but on the theory that he was open about being jihadist-like, then if there was evidence to show that he was jihadist in his own speech, then would that give would that possibly give legitimate cause for concern about him, or about somebody? Let's say in the hypothetical.
I think in the hypothetical, I can take it out of the realm of hypothetical. I do believe that I have to stand by what I've already said. If an accusation is made about somebody without proper empirical evidence to back up that accusation, accusation, and then certain attitudes of the general public are directed based on those accusations without empirical evidence, then again, it's not right. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen on both sides and that it's not documented for happening on both sides.
I'm clear that you're saying Siraj Wahhaj was most of the view that Pauley had and other people had about him were attributed based on accusations. I'm unclear about your view about Malik Ali. Were you viewing that he spoke in a way that was obvious how he believed, that he believed in a jihadist frame of mind, or were you thinking that most of his jihadist reputation was put onto him by accusations?
I believe that he spoke with conviction about what he felt to be true. I also believe that there is the possibility that he did not present enough empirical evidence to back up those views.
Okay.
That's
awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Absolutely great.
Have a good one.
You as well.